We're back with episode 9 of the Sneaker Room. It's me, Christian, and
Jamey.
Right, let's get into this collection first and have a look at some of this marvellous stuff that's kicking about. What's got you into collecting in the first place?
I guess it's a bit, it's kind of a typical thing. You get sneakers collected at a certain age, and you get the usual story of, I was at school when Air Max and Jordans first came out, and I didn't have any, and then so it's kind of that thing. I did have some tech challenges at school, the Agassi tech challenges, the clay blue and orange patch. I'm still trying to hunt in my size because they did retro them. And I had a pair of the silver and red Vandals. Remember those?
Yes, yeah. Supreme Vandal Supremes.
Yeah.
The black and silver ones were my first pair of Nike trainers that I ever had.
Yeah, no, I used to love those. And but that was it. I never had any Air Max or Jordans. And then when they started sort of coming around again and re-releasing them, it was when I'd been working a couple of years, so I had my first kind of bit of money to myself to spend, and so I just sort of started getting into it that way, really. I actually started off with Superstars, I think. Started collecting sort of Superstars, and then sort of trying to pick up the stuff that I didn't get the first time around, and also massively into Prestos, because Prestos had just come out back in sort of 2000. Yeah. And a few of my mates were sort of, you've got to try them, they're super comfortable. A bit like Ultra Boost these days, people are like, have you not tried Ultra Boost? You've got to try them, they're super comfortable. It was like that with Prestos back in 2000. And everyone was like, right, they're super comfy, that's like a t-shirt for your feet, that was the tagline, wasn't it? And so I started collecting Prestos as well. And then those two things, kind of Superstars, Prestos, and picking up all the stuff I didn't have at school, that just kind of like was the catalyst for me going, all right.
Have you got any sort of a favourite model that you buy multiple pairs of different colours?
I mean, I've got all these Prestos here, so I'd say Prestos is probably the thing I've got the single most of that one particular model. But then after that, it's probably 90s and ones, Air Max 90s and Air Max ones, and then everything else is a bit kind of higgledy-piggledy. I'm a size UK 14, so I have a bit more of a limited. You can see most of what I've got is Nike. That's Nike, and I've got a little bit of Adidas and stuff there, but Nike makes stuff in my size most of the time, and a lot of the other brands don't. I haven't got any Pumas because they don't really make anything, and I'm kind of limited to things that fit big sometimes with Adidas. Like Ultra Boost fine, they make Ultra Boost in big sizes, and Superstars pretty good, and there's a few things that they do fine, but then other stuff like I've got a fair few pairs of EQT supports, a few, and they don't actually make them in my true size, but because they fit big, I can get away with it and stuff. So it's kind of, it's a bit more of a challenge where, being a size 14.
Do you find being a 14, you are limited? Is it not a struggle to find trainers, but another struggle on top of the struggle to trying to find your size?
Basically all the struggles.
It's a double hunt.
It is, exactly, yeah. And it's even triple sometimes, because you've got the fact that, it's hard to find nice things anyway. Then you've got hard to find it in my size. But some brands just don't make stuff in my size, which is fine. I don't mind it. If I know that there's no chance of me ever owning a pair, it's almost like a mental release in a way. I'm like, right, brilliant, I can write that off. That's nothing I ever need to spend any money on. It's fine. I don't have to worry about that one. And quite often with Puma and New Balance and Asics and stuff, it's just like, I'll never own any of those. That's fine. Forget it. But what makes it doubly hard is when they do make it in my size. Like Nike pretty much always go up to a UK 14, US 15 with everything they do, but they don't always release it in the UK, or even sometimes they don't even release it in any proper shop. Sometimes they just send the big sizes straight to outlet, and not even the outlets in the UK. There's a pair of I've got a pair of Moabs, the green and infrared Moabs they released. Well, it's not infrared, it's something else, but looks like infrared. They made them in my size. I've got them, but they didn't release them in the UK. I didn't see them release them on the European site at all. They just went to outlets in Germany, and I found one random German guy who put them up on eBay with the top of the lid off. So I knew they'd gone to an outlet. He didn't want to ship to the UK, but luckily I had a mate in Germany who I managed to get him to ship to and stuff. But it's just like that kind of thing of hunting stuff down it's just a general release. It's nothing, it's not hype, it's not a collab or anything. It's just a general release shoe. Yeah. It was made in my size, but it never released in my country or in my continent properly. It went to a random outlet in Germany, and I had to get it off a guy on eBay who didn't want to ship to the UK, so I got it shipped to a mate. And my mate in Germany actually worked for Adidas, so I don't think he was too happy about me shipping a Nike shoe to his house to me. But anyway, it's just random stuff like that. When I'm my size, it's just makes stuff doubly hard.
Do you tend to find a lot of stuff that you can find in your size are like bowling trainers? Obviously, basketball players being, so. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not really into most of the modern kind of basketball models. There's a couple of the sort of recent LeBron ones that I didn't mind and stuff, but most of them, it's mostly kind of basketball stuff. But even a lot of, with the retro Jordans they release, they don't always go up to the big sizes. Right. Sometimes they do, most of the time. But Jordans are kind of pretty much anything past a 6, and I'm not that fussed about.
I agree completely.
Yeah, I don't have any ones. I like ones, but there's just complete saturation. There's 3 ones coming out every month at the moment. It's nuts how many Jordan 1s there are. Jordan 2s is the weird one that no one talks about. Jordan 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s I really like. 6s was, along with Air Max 90 infrareds, the black infrared 6s is one of the ones at school that I was like, I really would love to have them. And then when they started re-releasing them, I've made it.
We've found this with a lot of people that we've interviewed. They've always gone back to school, and that's where a lot of people have started. You see other people in things. I think it's an age that you're easily influenced at, if you know what I mean. It's something new, and you're on it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's Jordans. I've got Jordans is the only real, apart from Dunks actually. Dunks and Air Force 1 highs, the only other kind of basketball models that I kind of like, but other than that, I'm a bit limited with that. I tend to prefer runners.
Right, yeah.
I did go through a phase when I first started collecting, sort of in 2000-ish. I had quite a lot of Dunk highs. I was really into it because there are tons of great colourways coming out there. I like bright colours more than muted colours normally. Although as I get older, I am kind of appreciating the more muted palettes sometimes. But I still, they had the sort of Brazil side Dunks out and the Michigan ones, those blue and orange ones with the orange laces. And just they had a whole kind of amazing colour palette of Dunk highs that were kind of similar to the OG ones as well. Well, they had the golden rods out as well and stuff, and a lot of the OG colours. But it was just, I was really kind of getting into the Dunk highs back then. And Dunk seem to be coming around again at the moment, but maybe mostly the lows rather than
more SBs as well. SBs got a big following at the moment
because they were like Jordan 1s are now back in 2005. Got a total saturation.
Some I don't know, someone's wore them recently, and a lot of young, I can't remember who it is. Somebody I'd never heard on.
It'll be one of the hands on, mate.
And the youths all sort of like jump back on them, SBs. Right, top 5.
Top 5. Okay, well, I've got oh gosh, hang on a minute. I'm just trying to look at what I've pulled out. Right, well, look, I tell you what, I'm going to cheat, okay? I'm going to say these aren't my top 5, but what I'm going to say is if I were being objective, if I was just talking purely about what the most beautiful pairs in my collection are that other people would love as well, it's obviously going to be your Atmos Elephant ones. These frequently top out on the lists of most beautiful, best designed, everything. But that doesn't tell you much about me as a collector because everybody can say, as you can feel through any sneakerhead. Yeah, so these are the retro pair, but what I've done, like a lot of people, I've shaved them, I did a sole swap on them, and I've given them a reshape so they're not as square on the toe as they used to be. So that's okay for my personal.
I've got the Safari pair as well.
Oh yeah.
We have the air bubble in it, visual air bubble.
Yeah, same. Yeah, they're nice. The only problem on that Safari pair is which I've got downstairs actually. I forgot them. This is really orangey on it compared to this, which is a shame that they didn't get it quite right.
Have you seen them sole swapped?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of people that's put Air Max 1 soles on and they look absolutely mint. They really do.
We were just talking about Dunk SB. There's a Dunk SB coming out.
Yes, there is,
which looks pretty decent. So anyway, that's not in my top 5, purely because it doesn't tell you anything about me as an individual, so I'm not
would Max 1s be in your top 5?
Models, I love their Max 1s, and 90s as well. So, I guess I've got to say, for top, I'm going to have to go with Bespokes. So
these are what we want to see.
This is my first pair, which I loosely use these random work gloves as a thing. The workman's glove is the name of the pair. So you've got all your kind of swatches that you get with the swatch. Sorry, it's the wrong way around. So they give you all the swatches of all the materials you use in there.
This is first actual pair I have actually seen.
Is it?
In person of Bespokes.
You get a lot of stuff, it's good. And then you get your extra pairs of laces. And they actually stopped doing this, but when I did this first pair, they give you a little hang tag as well, in whatever colours you want. And then when you get a sketch with them and stuff. So I'll get them both there. You get these dust bags and shoe trees with them as well. I mean, the thing is, they're a lot of money. They're 750 quid if you were doing it in the UK, which you can't anymore, and I think it's £1,000 in the States. But the build quality on them and everything is so good that actually, if they were releasing for retail, they definitely wouldn't be a retail price.
Am I allowed to touch it?
Yeah, I wear them. So this is my workman's golf pair that I did. I mean, I've got. I'm not going to talk about everything else because I'll be here for 20 minutes. But basically, I wanted to have lots of differences between the left and right shoes. So I've got. You can see the tongue labels are different. So you've got the yellow swoosh there and the there, and that's reversed in the heel, so pretty yellow. You've got a 2 and a 3 because that's my birthday on the heel, so you've got 2 baseball stitches and 3 and 2 and 3. And then you've got things that are different on the lateral and medial sides, and you've got things that are different on the left and the right. So both of these have got the light grey panelling with the dark grey swoosh on the left side, and both of them have got dark grey panelling thing on the right side. But then these go with medial and lateral, so you've got the safari bit with the eyelets on the outsides and the yellow stitching around on the inside.
Detail's phenomenal on these.
Yeah, I mean it's great that you can do so many things like that, and you can just do completely different left and right shoes if you want. Oh, and then I've got some sort of stitching which relates to my daughter's birthday and stuff on the heels there. So yeah, I was really happy with how these came out. I mean, these were done before they did the shape change. These were done before the anniversaries came out, and they changed the shape of the Air Max ones. So I did have to give them a little bit of a reshape, which, in hindsight, going for a suede mud club wasn't the wisest choice I've ever made. But I'm much happier with them now. But I've given them a little nudge with an iron. So that was the first pair I did, and then I've got my second pair. I went in with an idea and completely changed it and completely rethought what I wanted to do basically at the last kind of, well, not at the last minute, but within the space of like a week or so, after thinking I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So my second pair of bespokes are these ones. These are the Mango Safaris, and I went in with a completely different idea. I thought I was going to do, base it on an Egyptian goose, which I'd seen in a park when I was randomly out, and I thought that would make a great colour scheme for a shoe. And then I was doing it, and it's sort of all blues and muted pinks and things. That's why I was kind of going for this pinky. But I realised that what I was doing was, you see a lot of pairs of bespokes that are that, because I think we go for the premium materials. A lot of people kind of keep it muted and go for like browns and sort of earthy greens and things like that. And I just sort of thought, actually, I'm designing a pair here that are similar to a lot of pairs I see. I mean, you don't see that many pairs of bespokes, but a lot of the ones that I followed bespoke accounts on Instagram, and I'd see a lot of them. So I completely rethought it and thought, actually, you know what? I love Safari. I love kind of, like I say, the Atmosphere Air Max ones and the keep ripping, stop slipping ones, which I've never actually found in my size or anything. So I thought, right, I'm going to kind of go with a Safari type thing. And I did these, I'd just like to say, I did these before the size, remember the size Safari Air Max ones last year? Yeah, so I had no idea those were coming out, because they've used the kind of mango-y.
Cal's been on about them, where they like both of us have got them, both probably our favourite pairs of trainers.
Yeah, they're really nice, yeah. So again, I've gone with I tried to do loads of differences between left and right shoes, so I've got different, tongue labels there, and different on the heel again, and then sort of, there's 4 different swooshes, so that's the black Safari, white Safari, sort of white and black, and hang on a minute, sorry, that's black and grey, and that one's pure black, and then different outlines. So you've got the Storm Pink, I think that's called, outline on that side, and the Mango outline on that side, and then what else? Oh, backs of the tongues is different, and then different. You can't see, but it's got my initials in
different. There as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, so I've got on the first pair I did the heel embroidery for my daughter's birthday. These were for my second daughter. I've kept it a bit more subtle here, and I've got it on the sides of the tongues, which actually I think works better, and I kind of, if I was doing the first pair again, I'd probably do it that way, but yeah, it's kind of nice. It's not immediately obvious, but I know it's there, sort of thing. I've gone for lots of perforation as well, because I just sort of really like the way it looks.
Detail's mad.
Yeah. And I mean, they weigh a fair bit. Oh, they've got shoe trees in as well, but you can feel the weight of them. Like they're not going to fall apart as quick as a normal pair.
No, definitely not.
They're pretty well made. But I do wear them. Like I don't, like I say, they're expensive shoes, but there's no point if you're not going to wear them for me. So I do. Oh yeah, I was saying about custom embroidery. So it's kind of hard to tell. I've got sail embroidery, but there's also storm pink, and the mini swoosh is storm pink as well. Now that's not one of the standard colours they do, but they let me choose it because I was having some problems with production. I had to wait 9 months for these in the end. It was a long time from the time I designed them to the time I got them. So because it was taking so long, they let me have a custom embroidery colour on them, which was nice. So yeah,
excellent.
Yeah. So no, I mean definitely these two. Got to be at the top of my collection.
Brilliant.
Right, what else? What have I pulled out? I'm going to go. Oh, I'll tell you what. This is a nice story of. Just quickly. Classic Air Max 90 infrareds. You can't go wrong with them. This is a 2012 pair, which I really like. A lot of people don't because they thought the infrared was too pink and they didn't like the yellowed sole and the yellowed mesh. I do really like that personally. Oh, and this is much darker grey as well than it was on the OG, but again, I don't mind that. I think that's fine. Importantly, back of the tongue's infrared, which it wasn't on the 2015 pair. Remains to be seen if it will be on this year, 2020. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the pairs I wanted at school that I never got. But again, that doesn't tell you a lot about me as a collector, but it's always going to be there in my list. It's just it's a great pair. Right, so these Miami Hurricanes Ultra Boosts. So these were made just really for the players, I think, on the Miami. They have done a re-release since, but it's rubbish. It's not anywhere near as good as this original. They messed up the green, and there's a couple of other bits that were different. That tongue label wasn't green; it was something else. But it was the colours were nowhere near as good as the original. They made them just for the players on the Miami Hurricanes, I think. But as is always the way, like pairs find their way to that money. There are, I can count on one hand. It's probably once or twice in my entire sneaker collecting career the times that being a big size has worked in my favour, and this is one of the very, very few times in that a lot of the guys on the Miami Hurricanes have got massive feet, so when they make pairs specifically just for the guys on the team, they're going to be the big sizes.
I've only ever seen one pair of them for sale ever.
Yeah.
And there's a very well-known sneaker collector that had got them up.
Yeah, it's a terrific pair. I'm so chuffed to have got these, and they weren't cheap, but I got them a lot cheaper than they go for. They normally would go for if it was a smaller size. Because there are a few smaller sizes around, but not many. I can't remember what I paid for them. It was in the hundreds, but it was nowhere near. I mean, these go for like $1,000 quite often and stuff. So yeah, very few times.
What sort of comfort level like in them?
Oh, amazing. Do you want to have a quick walk around them?
I'm a 7.
Yeah, but
my feet in there.
You'll get the bounce though.
Well, saying that, I've just got some ETQ Racer that have got both sole on them. I've not even worn them, you know what I mean? It's not obviously not ETQ Racer weather, but I'm just wondering, what they're like.
No, they are. Go on, give it a go. Because I've had people that had, different sizes to me try Ultra Boost on, and you can feel the bounce straight away. Like I say, Black Prestos back in 2000, when you get that heel strike on the ground and you just feel it bouncing back up a little bit, it's
yeah, a lot bouncier than like an Air Max or a Nike Air Sole, aren't they?
Yeah, when Ultra Boost first came out, because I was such a big Presto fan, and I was back in the day as well, because that's just what I've got now. Like back in the day, I had like the same amount again, but then I sold them all in mid 2000s, or I just wore them to death, because that's the only downside of Prestos is they do fall apart. Right. But when these first came out, I just was like, yeah, they're nice and everything, but Prestos are 15 years older than that, and they look pretty similar, same kind of styling. So I was like, yeah, I'll just stick with Prestos. And then I tried a pair on, and I was just like, oh right, I can see what everyone's talking about. Actually, it's so comfy to wear that it kind of changed my mind a bit on them.
I've only just got around to getting anyway a Boost sole on, because I'm a bit. At my age, I'm a bit reserved, and like, look at this new technology.
Yeah,
I don't do that. Only Air Max and stuff like that. But I can see why there's a big attraction to them.
Yeah, no, I was absolutely the same. I'm gonna go with. Hang on a minute. So this is a pair of IDs, but it was one of the. So again, I was just talking about being a Presto fan, and this is a pair of ID Prestos. Get them out. There you go. So a couple of years ago, they had. I've always been a fan of Prestos. Anytime they've ever done Presto ID options, I've always tried to do at least one pair. Although I didn't. They did some back in 2005 or 6. They did some Brazilian ones. There's Praia Ipanema and Praia de Copacabana, which are 2 beaches in Rio. And they had a load of really nice colours, similar to sort of this, and some more yellows and some browns and muted colours as well. They were really nice options. I didn't have the money at the time, and I never did them, and I always regretted it. Although I have still got screenshots of all the options, amazingly, because I'm a nerd. And then these came up about 2 years ago, maybe, on Nike ID. They started having the fade, but they also had the flags, which were only up for a few weeks before they took that off. And then they kept the colours for ages, but you couldn't do the flags after a few weeks. So it's got a Brazilian flag on it, and it was, I think it was about the time of the Rio Olympics as well, so maybe it was to do with that, perhaps, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is, I think, the best ID options they've ever done on a press day when they had these live, because there were other different gradients as well, but I really like teal and Volt together, so it was a no-brainer for me. As soon as these came up, I knew I was gonna get them, and having the flag on there just kind of sets the whole thing up perfectly. Without that, it wouldn't be nice, but I just think it's just so perfect having the Brazil flag on there. So yeah, that's definitely in my
right. Is there anything that you're hunting for? You know, have you got what's on your grail list?
My grail is something I will never own, I think, because I don't think it was ever manufactured in my size, because it was a collab, which quite often don't get manufactured up to the full size run. The size ones, they always stop at like 12 or 13 maybe in size. They never go to 14. And it was a collab, and it was a Japanese collab, and that Japanese ones just always got no chance with big sizes and anything Japanese. It's another thing that I just have to forget about. Any Japan releases, you know, like Mad Hectic NBs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm never going to get them. So it was the AD21 Huarache Light Bursts. I don't know if you know them. They were kind of a...
Yes.
I've got...
yes, I do, yeah.
It was... I can't... you might be able to dig out a picture when you do the video or something, but basically this isn't a burst, it's a Huarache Light, but obviously the burst had the burst same size as the Air Max 3.
I had the green Safari ones.
Yeah, they were brilliant. So the AD21 ones are basically purple and Volt, so I think the mudguard kind of changes to, see where you got the stitching there? It's purple all the way around, no, which way around is it? It's Volt all the way around, and then it changes to purple there, and I think it's got purple lace locks, but it's just, I love them. I saw them for the first time at the Crooked Tongues barbecue. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Back in
Crooked Tongues.
Yeah, it was in like...
I found a bag full of Crooked Tongues stickers the other day in house.
I've got a load as well, yeah. I think it's back in like 2005 or 6, and I'm trying to remember the guy's name. One of the guys that worked at Crooked Tongues wore them there. And I was just like, they're amazing, and I've been wanting them ever since, but I don't think they were ever made in my size, so I just kind of accepted that I'm never probably going to own a pair, and and I'm not into buying things that are the wrong size. It's only about wearing them, so excuse me a second. Two small kids in January, February, it's just you can't get away from it. Yeah, so that's my grail, I think.
Is there anything that you know that's not going to be in your size that you specifically would like to get in your size? You know, like you're saying about Mad Hectics and Japanese release.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you know
that's current?
That you're never going to get, but you'd like?
There definitely are. I mean, there's loads of things I see, popping up on social media, on Instagram and stuff, wherever I'm looking, and just kind of, if it's a brand, like if it's, there's some really nice Asics, that come out. There was an anniversary pair, wasn't there, a little while ago that had a bit of sort of teal and neon thing going on, which I love as a combo. But I just know they're never going to be my size, so I just kind of mentally write them off as soon as I see them.
They fit small as well, I tend to find. GL3's done for me, I'm a 7, but I heard by 8 in Asics, right, so I have to go a size up. Right, I think that's about it. We'll wrap this one up. It's been a pleasure, Jamey. Thank you very much for your time.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you to Cal on camera, as always.